from the precision of his passing to the calmness in his play. Toni Kroos was never the loudest player on the pitch, but he was always one of the most effective. For over a decade, he has been the silent architect behind some of football's greatest victories. But how did this German maestro rise to the top of world football? How great was Toni Kroos, really? Well, before I dive into all that, let's take it back to where it all began. Toni Kroos was born on January 4th, 1990, in the small city of Greifswald, East Germany. His father, Roland Kroos, was a football coach, and his mother, Birgit Kammer, was a former badminton player and biology teacher. It's safe to say that sports ran deep in the Kroos family. In fact, his younger brother, Felix, also went on to play professional football. So, with football in his blood, Toni's journey began early. He joined his first football club, Greifswald SC, at just 7 years old. And by the age of 12, his talent was already evident. That's when he moved to Hansa Rostock's Youth Academy, one of the better-known clubs in East Germany. But his biggest step came in 2006 when, at the age of 16, he joined the prestigious Bayern Munich Youth Academy. That move would set everything in motion. At Bayern, Kroos quickly stood out for his vision, technique, and maturity on the ball, qualities rarely seen in someone his age. By 2007, at just 17 years old, he made his senior debut for Bayern Munich in a Bundesliga match against Energie Cottbus. He not only made an assist in that game, but also became Bayern's youngest ever player to play in a professional match at that time. Meanwhile, on the international scene, Kroos was already making waves. He represented Germany at every youth level. In 2007, he was awarded the Golden Ball at the FIFA U17 World Cup for being the best player in the tournament. It was clear a star was in the making, but as talented as he was, breaking into a Bayern Munich squad full of stars wasn't easy. In 2009, he was loaned to Bayer Leverkusen to gain more first-team experience. And wow, what a decision that was. Over 18 months, Kroos matured immensely. He scored 10 goals and assisted 13 in the 2009 to 2010 season alone, helping Leverkusen to an impressive campaign. By the time he returned to Bayern in 2010, he was no longer just a prospect. He was a ready-made midfielder. At just 20 years old, he was called up to Germany's senior national team and made his debut in a friendly against Argentina in March 2010. Later that year, he was part of Germany's 2010 World Cup squad in South Africa. Though still young, Kroos played alongside the likes of Mesut Ozil, Thomas Müller, Manuel Neuer, Sami Khedira, and Mats Hummels, a golden generation of German football. Together, they formed one of the most technically gifted and disciplined teams the world had seen in years. Kroos gradually became an integral part of Germany's midfield. He was the brain among the chaos, the rhythm in their beat. Back at Bayern, he played under managers like Louis van Gaal and later Jupp Heynckes, becoming a central figure in the midfield. He won the Bundesliga in 2013 and was part of the treble-winning squad that lifted the UEFA Champions League in 2013. But after years of progress, a storm was brewing behind the scenes. In 2014, with just 1 year left on his contract, Bayern Munich hesitated to meet his wage demands. They offered less than what other midfielders at his level were earning. Kroos, who had just helped Germany win the World Cup in Brazil that summer, felt undervalued. And guess who came knocking? Real Madrid, after an incredible performance at the 2014 World Cup, where he scored twice in that historic 7-1 win against Brazil. Madrid saw in Kroos exactly what they needed. Florentino Perez, the president of Real Madrid, was always known for signing Galacticos. But this time, he wanted something different. Someone who could bring balance, control, and consistency to a midfield full of flair. The club had already won La Decima, their 10th Champions League title, under Carlo Ancelotti. But to build a dynasty, they needed someone like Kroos. So in July 2014, Real Madrid signed Toni Kroos for a shockingly modest fee of 25 million euros. A bargain. Ancelotti was a manager who brought him in, recognizing his ability to dictate games with minimal fuss. He joined a squad that included Cristiano Ronaldo, Gareth Bale, Karim Benzema, Luka Modric, Sergio Ramos, and Marcelo. It was a team of stars, but Kroos became the heartbeat. At Madrid, Kroos evolved into one of the best midfielders of his generation. His passing range, composure, and football IQ were second to none. Alongside Luka Modric and Casemiro, he formed one of the most iconic midfield trios in football history. Together, they led Madrid to 4 Champions League titles between 2016 and 2022. Who could forget the 2018 Champions League final against Liverpool, or the 2016 semi-final against Manchester City, where Kroos completely controlled the midfield, and of course, his last-minute winner for Germany against Sweden in the 2018 World Cup, a stunning free kick from a tight angle. That was vintage Kroos. Calm, clutch, clinical. In total, Kroos has won 5 Champions League titles with Real Madrid, 3 La Liga titles, 5 FIFA Club World Cups, and numerous Super Cups and domestic trophies. He also lifted the 2014 FIFA World Cup with Germany and was named in multiple UEFA Teams of the Year and FIF Pro World's Eyes. But not everything was smooth. Germany's shocking group stage exit at the 2018 World Cup was one of the low points of his career. Critics questioned whether Kroos and the rest of the golden generation had passed their peak. Still, he stayed with the national team until 2021, retiring after the Euro 2020 tournament, played in 2021 due to the pandemic. He left having made 106 appearances and scoring 17 goals for Germany. After nearly a decade at the top level, Toni Kroos began to wind down his international career, but at Real Madrid, he remained a key figure. His passing never lost its magic. His vision never dulled. He continued to deliver top performances even into his 30s. Eventually, every story must have an ending. In 2024, after helping Real Madrid reach yet another Champions League final, Toni Kroos announced that he would be retiring from football at the end of the 2024-25 season. His farewell at the Santiago Bernabéu was emotional. Fans held banners, sang his name, and many were in tears. A legend was leaving, not with fireworks or drama, but with dignity, grace, and class. He had won everything, but part of me believes he could have played on, like Luka Modric, who was still going strong at 38. Kroos had the engine, the mind, and the legs to give more. But then again, maybe that's what makes him so special. He knew when to leave. In total, his trophy cabinet is overflowing. 5 Champions League titles, 4 La Liga titles, 3 Bundesliga titles, 1 World Cup, dozens of individual honors. So, how great was Toni Kroos? He was a silent commander, the one who never needed the spotlight to shine. He dictated games with the ease of a maestro. He lifted trophies with 2 of the greatest teams in football history, Germany's golden generation and Real Madrid's modern dynasty. That is what I had for you for today. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel.